We honestly really came full circle with this. After a year and a half of asking for Spellbook of Judgment to 1, OCG, Master Duel, and TCG all have it legal at 1. And this is a deck that I've been tinkering around. Thank you to Jesse Cotton for a base list that I could modify and edit when he posted it to Twitter. So let's take a look at Spellbook Runick. Spellbook Runick is a wonderful deck that is really based around your field spell and Mystic Mind, controlling the game state like how spellbooks used to be with Jowgen the Spiritualist. Now you're still running Jowgen the Spiritualist in the deck because it's super amazing, and with Spellbook of Judgment being legal and you can summon this out turn 1 is very wonderful. Now, we only have the 4 monsters, which is Magician of Prophecy and Jowgen. These are the only monsters that you really need in this variant. But you can also do things like the additional High Priestess of Prophecy, maybe another one of the prophecies. I'm trying to remember the name. Temperance of Prophecy. You could technically run him or her, because if you activate a spellbook card previously this turn, you could tribute this card, special summon one light or dark spellcaster monster from your deck that's a level 5 or higher. And you cannot special summon another level 5 or higher monster during that turn you activate this effect. So you do have an option of cards you can play, and you can technically run Justice of Prophecy, but she was better back in 2015. Now, what type of spellcasters are you really wanting to summon off of Temperance Prophecy? Now, if we look at the level 5 or higher spellcaster pool, I don't really think that there's really anything worth running. Sure, you can run some Dogmatica cards. You can also go to a different version of the deck, which is Dogmatica Spellbook Magician. But in my opinion, the Runick is the better one because you control the board state more while removing resources from your opponent. But the one that I could definitely see people probably running would most likely be something on the lines of, I really don't know, because a lot of only if that was a light or dark. I should probably limit down to light and dark. But you don't really have that many options to go through. You could probably run like the Iron Sword Soul, or you can also kind of run other cards in its place. But really, Iron Sword Soul and High Priestess of Prophecy are the only 2 that you can really utilize. But let's get into the actual deck profile instead of talking over cards that you can run in the deck and all of that. So we have the 1 Jowgen and 3 Spellbook Magician, 2 Eternity, 2 Knowledge, 3 Secrets, 2 Masters, 1 Terraforming, 3 Domains of the Land, 2 Runick Destruction, 1 and 2 Dispelling, triple Flashing Fire, double Freezing Curses, double Runick Slumber, triple Runick Tip, 1 Spellbook of Fate, 1 Spellbook of Judgment, and 1 Wisdom, triple Mystic Mind, 2 Runick Fountain, and a Metaverse. Now, for the Spellbook stuff, you can up Fate more in copies, but with a small Spellbook package like how it used to be, you're not running power, you're not running a lot of these other Spellbook cards, because you don't need them much anymore. Sure, you can run things like Spellbook of Life or Grand Spellbook Tower, but you already have 2 field spells in the deck. You could theoretically still run High Priestess of Prophecy, but Runick cards do what she does pretty much better, because we have 1 Giri, 1 Moonin, and triple Hugin. I think that's how you pronounce it. But once we get the other one, once we get Freak, you can drop her down to 2 and run the other wolf. And then for the links, we have Unchained Soul, Access Code, Nightmare Unicorn, Selene, Nightmare Phoenix, Dark, Area, and Lina, along with the Daybreaker, the Shining Magical Warrior, and Crowley. Daybreaker I really like because you can place a spell counter on it. You can remove 2, target a card, and destroy it. So it's free removal if you need it. And it's always good to have. Along with Crowley is always good to have because it gets you another spellbook in your hand. Like, it reveals 3 spellbook cards with different names from your deck. You can reveal Spellbook of Judgment, Secret, and Masters. And your opponent chooses one randomly. And that outcome could be amazing. But I really don't have any test videos because I've been working a lot this week. But let's just do a sample hand. And as we can see, this is a really ordinary hand. So we're just going to go Knowledge into Eternity. And now we have Runick galore. Runick tip is going to be adding a card to your hand, which most likely is going to be Flash or Fire. We're not going to activate Fountain. Then we could special summon out really either of these. And most of the time you want to go into her. And we already have 2 engraved, so we were going to discard Destruction. Then we're going to trigger Fountain and target 3. And we're going to get 3 free cards out of that. Which is super, super huge. We could just set the metaverse. We have 5 cards in hand. And we have 2 constantly live Runick cards. One is a special summon Destruction. And one is also a negation. And we have a backup plan. Which is amazing. So we have Metaverse for Mystic Mine, and we have a lot of other utility. So overall, this deck is really, really, really interesting. Like, if we can open up hands like this constantly, we are 100% fine. With this, we would just grab something maybe like Spellbook of the Masters. But we really don't have that. So this is where we're just going to go Spellbook of Fate. We have 2. That's an interruption. We can normal summon Jaugen after our whole entire thing has just resolved. So the one that we want to discard, sadly, is that one. But we go Runick Fountain, activate the Fountain, and then we can target this, and that applies normal out the Jaugen, set the Spellbook of Fate, and we have a Spellbook of Fate that banishes. So, in my opinion, this is one of the better variants of Spellbooks, and this is going to be the one that everyone has to keep an eye out. This is what Imperial Order pretty much died for, to come alive. Now, as much as I don't like Mystic Mine being ran, it is a necessary evil at this point that Konami hasn't addressed yet, and I'm really taking a break from this format because they didn't really fix much, as Cheerlements are playing Steam the Cloak now, everything's running Mystic Mine, and we're also going to be getting Darkwing Blast that has Bisted and Kastri Fenrir. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. See you guys in the next video, and goodbye.